2025 is a year for change in my planner, especially for cleaning and meal planning. Welcome to part two of how I set up my 2025 home planner back in December. If you haven't seen part one yet, I'm going to leave the link in the description below so you can watch that, then come back to this video. Today, we are covering the changes I've made to the cleaning and meal planning sections. And then we'll also cover the currently page, monthly, and weekly spreads. But first, I wanted to show you the last page of the collection section that I decided to add. I took this blank checklist page and turned it into a habit tracker by drawing lines, writing out numbers to represent each day of the month. I originally was going to add the months at the top, but then realized that I wasn't going to have enough space for the title, so I covered those up with stickers and moved the names of the months to the bottom of the tracker. At the end of each month, I'll write down the name of the habit that I'll be working on for the following month to the right of the name of the month. So basically, I can change them out. These are not trackers for the same habit because once something becomes a habit, then it will get added to my daily routine and I won't have to track it anymore. Let me know in the comments below if this is true for you too, but I have found over the years that how long it will take me to form a new habit is based on how frequent or how complex the habit is. If I am doing something more frequently, it becomes a habit earlier. And if I'm trying to make a habit out of something that's more complex, it typically takes longer to turn that into a habit. I'm going to be adding into my daily routine to check off this habit tracker once I've completed the habit. Sometimes I like to mix up how I do things to make things a little more interesting, but also it allows me to try to optimize my systems by trying something completely new. So, for that reason, I have really changed up the cleaning and meal planning sections this year. I didn't even have a meal planning section last year, it was just a separate planner. So, I found these Fly Lady cleaning printables on Etsy, and the Fly Lady website says that this system is all about establishing little habits that string together into simple routines to help your day run on automatic pilot. So, first, I'm adding in a seasonal home maintenance calendar, which has home maintenance tasks listed out for the 4 seasons. This comes in the Planner Essentials pack. But in order to know exactly what I'm going to be doing each month, I'm going to fill out the year at a glance home maintenance page and write in which tasks will be worked on specifically during each month. There are 12 tasks per season listed, so I've broken it down into 3 per month. And in order to remind me to work on these tasks, I'm going to add to the weekly reset routine, complete one home maintenance task, and that will prompt me to reference the home maintenance year at a glance page. So after 3 weeks, I should be all caught up, and then I can just skip over that step during my routine once I'm all done with that. Next is the Fly Lady Commandments, which is a list of rules to follow. I'm just going to use this as a reference page and then read it when I need a reminder. To the left of that, I'm adding the 31 beginner steps. This is something I'm currently working on as a 31-day challenge for the month of January. And my understanding is that these are just this Etsy shop's version of the Fly Lady baby steps. So I left the link to her actual baby steps in the description down below. It's completely free, so you can access all of that information. And I think her baby steps kind of build off of each other so that you are adding on a new task to your morning, afternoon, and evening routines day by day. So that by the end of it, you have a full set of routines. So after the home maintenance page, I'm going to start putting in all those Fly Lady pages. This video is just meant to be an introduction, and in a separate video, I'll be covering details about how the rest of the section works. But essentially, there is a basic weekly plan, a weekly checklist, and a zone cleaning schedule. The basic weekly plan is a schedule in which each day of the week has specific tasks that need to get done on specific days. The weekly checklist includes tasks for the week without a specific day assigned to them. And the zone cleaning schedule is a monthly schedule that breaks down deep cleaning each of the areas of the home into different weeks. Of changing things up this year, I wanted to also change up meal planning. I can incorporate the components of my previous system later on as needed, but I find when I try new layouts or techniques, it allows me to think about things differently and allows me to better optimize and simplify my systems. For now, here's how I'm using these pages. I'm writing out the dinners we're planning on the monthly calendar using a friction pen because it's erasable and that tends to change because life happens. On the recipes and ingredients page, I'm writing out the new recipes, meaning that they're being tested for the first time. And that will include the name of the recipe and the rating we give it out of 5 stars so we can know if we want to use that recipe again. I'm changing the grocery list title to ingredients inventory. And I'll write the name of each recipe and quickly inventory the total amount of ingredients that we'll need since there is often overlap between recipes. I'll be printing out a list of the names of the meals broken up by categories that we have tested out and like. The weekly spreads will contain the planned lunches and dinners, as well as prep work and meal prep sections. In a separate upcoming video that will be coming after the cleaning section video, I'll demonstrate planning out a month of meals and how each section is filled out. The currently page is where I'm writing out my business goals for the month. I have space to write out my 3 goals in the upper left corner, and then during my review at the end of the month, I can answer the questions: did I achieve my goals for January? And if not, what can I do differently next month? My monthly spread is going to be where I keep track of appointments and events. It is part of my weekly planning routine to reference the monthly spread as I'm planning out the following week. I am also going to keep track of my YouTube video posting plan using these small sticky notes that I found online. I like that they don't take up the entire box, so they don't obscure what appointments I have that day. Because previously, some of the sticky notes I had used were like Post-its, which are a little too large for those boxes. And then I'm using sticky notes because a plan will often change if I change my mind or something or if life happens and it has to change. I wanted the weekly spread to be something that I can set up in less than 5 minutes and to be really simple without a lot of tasks written on there or a lot of writing that could distract me. I'm using the top section for scheduled appointments, events, and holidays. And I'm not writing out my schedule because I can just reference my weekly schedule, which is located under the routines tab if I ever need to. My top 3 most important tasks are going in the middle section because I think it's really important for me to prioritize my tasks and work on the top priority first. And the lower priority tasks will go in the other tasks section. When I'm at work, I know to reference my work planner, which contains all of the tasks that I need to get done at work, And then when I'm at home, I reference this planner. Part of that time, I'll be completing my morning routine, evening routine, weekly reset routine, and those can all be found under the routines tab. Anything that is not a routine will be listed here. I'm intentionally not giving myself a bunch of tasks because the majority of my time at home is spent fulfilling orders for my Etsy shop and Shopify store, so I realistically don't have time for many other tasks. In order to plan my week, I reference my planning routine, which includes but is not limited to transferring tasks from the monthly spread and the monthly list to the weekly. For a detailed explanation where I walk you through the steps on how I plan out my week, check out this video next, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye!
Let me tell you what is up with your smile? It's impossible, not melting, irresistible. When I look through your eyes, not even skies the